See if my voice will hold out. Friday, May 17th. Had a really good work day yesterday. Rained heavily last night. The good thing about it is the way things are set up, work can still be done. Anyway, this salvia bed, the nutsedge was starting to come up, so I worked on that. If it keeps coming up, especially getting worse, then I may even just have to take a tarp and tarp around this salvia or plastic or something like that to get control of it. It is going to be a battle. In the last week or so, there's nothing planted in these. These have been cardboard and mulched. This row, it has the okra in the middle and the beans on either side, was looking pretty bad, and that was the main thing that was done yesterday. There were like 5 people that just went through here and really worked on this. But you know, I can already see some coming back. It's just going to be a battle on this nutsedge, and it may be that when we clear one bed, we'll fight our way through, and when we clear one bed, it may have to be put under plastic and left that way for a while. These tomatoes are looking good. We've got some trellising here ready when they get up tall enough. You see this water standing. In a way, that's a good thing because it means it's not running off. It's going to have a chance to soak in. We'll see how fast it soaks in. If I had more time, I'd be tempted to go ahead and put another layer of the wood chips down where you could actually walk in this as well. Where these stakes are, these are sweet potato slips. So we've got sweet potato slips coming up. This is going to be that bug hotel. You can look it up online, just do a Google search or whatever engine you use. Bug hotel. So we're going to be stuffing it with limbs and pieces of bamboo and whatever, and put some kind of a roof top thing on it. And here comes a train. But basically it's habitat to get frogs, lizards, spiders, possibly even garden snakes, whatever, in here in the middle of the garden where they can do their work. Let's let this train go by. So this is the row with the tomatoes and the sweet potatoes. This next row, these are mammoth sunflowers. These were seeds that I saved last year from some that were in that I grew in my mother's yard or garden area. So that whole row has got sunflowers, other than a few little things, like there's a little radish in there. But then you've got more sweet potato slips and more tomatoes going all the way around. So there's quite a few tomatoes. Grab one radish for my dad. So this row has got squash, and it's supposed to have some, I believe, some wildflowers mixed in. If they don't start showing themselves, then we may need to plastic tarp or do something to cover the grass here. They're coming up. We're getting there. Next row going to the center, these are bush beans. Yeah, there's a lot of grass. This is another kind of squash, and I didn't bring my 5-gallon bucket. I'll probably do some more work on this, but so this is getting to the point that pulling it probably won't do any good. Probably gonna need to come in here and keep from killing that one. Probably have to come in here and tarp this in some way to black plastic or something to get control of that. More bush beans, daikon radishes that were oversowed, really thick, but they are coming in, and keep an eye on them. They can get huge, but daikon buckthorn radish. Got some more tomatoes here. And well, it looks like some of the garlic may actually finally be coming up. So be careful if you decide to come out here and weed this bed. That flat blade there, that is actually garlic. So that's those corms. If those are going to come up, let's let them do their thing. But there are some tomatoes in here. Going into this bed, that frondy, frilly thing, asparagus, 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 asparagus. There's 4 asparagus, whole lot of nutsedge. There's some strawberries, and there are some onions. So anybody can come out here anytime and do weeding. If you're going to pull up the nutsedge, put it in a bucket or a box or something, take it down in those trees and drop it off down in there. These are cowpeas. You got some broad beans if they produce before it gets too old or too hot. A few more onions. Had some more sweet potato slips, so there are some sweet potato slips right here. A couple of sunflowers and daylilies, I believe, or some kind of flowers. Potatoes. This bed has changed in that it was originally supposed to be all greens, but some of them weren't doing too well. So we've got some dwarf tomatoes, eggplant, some tomatoes, peppers. This is still lettuce. There's a pepper plant and arugula. Coming to this next area, starting at the center. There are tomatoes in here. That's the main thing. If you decide to weed this, make sure and pull out the nutsedge. But if you want to, go ahead and leave these, because I believe those are going to be zinnias. As long as we get it, keep them before they seed. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything, and they're going to look pretty. This next row has got cucumbers in each hole. I started these from seed, transplanted them out. Since it's so wet out here, I don't have to water them in. But there'll be cucumbers. If they make it, then we'll figure out what we're going to do for trellising. More tomatoes. So some people were worried about if we were going to have any tomatoes out here. We've got a lot of tomatoes. Now the question is, are they going to make? But yeah, lots of tomatoes. This next row, the plastic doesn't have any holes in it, so it's just holding it down. And then I've got more cucumbers in this next row. Okay. This one doesn't have anything officially planted. You've got nutsedge coming up and weeds through the holes and stuff. This one was just put down, the cardboard and stuff. These 2 rows have got some wildflower mix in them, kind of seeing what they're doing. If they start to go into seed and looking too bad, then we'll figure something out. And then this is a comfrey plant, C-O-M-F-R-E-Y, comfrey. So yeah, it's getting established, and it has a lot of different uses and stuff. The corn hasn't done anything really, so I'm still deciding what to do next on this. I'd kind of like to survey it and make sure and get my survey lines, and then maybe kind of put some swales in here to hold the water, because again, we've got water standing up there, but any water which would have been on the surface and could soak in ran off. So that's why I want to do some swales or terracing or something here to control that water. I'm kind of thinking about putting peanuts in here, but it's just a matter of if I get time to come out here and try to do that. So, but that is the update for this week. If you can hear me over everything. I've got a few T-posts out. So as things, once we know that they're getting established and then get ready to trellis, we'll be bringing cages or T-post or whatever we can out here and figuring out different ways of supporting things like the cucumbers and tomatoes and things of that nature.